Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be talking about your CISS versus refillable cartridges. Okay, so what's the difference? It's obvious that one holds a lot more ink, and then the other one, they're just regular cartridges. Now, with DTG, if you're using refillable cartridges, they're going to run out a lot quicker, obviously, because you have tanks versus these cartridges. Plus, you have cartridges right here. Because with DTG printing, you're using a lot more ink when you're using your RIP software compared to if you were using a bulking system with your factory printer with dye inks. So let's say you were using dye inks with these. You probably wouldn't be using that much ink because you're using your regular printer driver. It wouldn't be RIP software. With your RIP software, you tend to use a lot more ink because you could adjust the ink level, the ink dot size, etc. And you're printing much larger graphics when you're using textile inks. Here's a problem. If you're gonna do a lot of prints every day, like let's say you're a store or you're doing a couple prints per week, then I suggest you go with this. If you're just a casual printer that's gonna print a shirt every once in a while, then it would be best to go with your refillable cartridges. And I'm gonna tell you why. If you're gonna do a couple prints a week, one or two, you're just a casual printer, you're not printing every day. What you would do is you would use your refillable cartridges, and if you do run white ink in these two, you're gonna have to take them out and shake them every day so the white ink doesn't clog in the bottom. It's gonna get sludgy in the bottom and it could clog the tip or it could clog your print head. Normally, if there's no ink coming out, you could just stick a syringe in there, just barely, and just pull out a little bit of ink just to get the channel free. If you're not going to run white ink, you could just fill these with cleaning solution. Okay? And then you put your regular colors in the rest. Personally, normally I'll shake all the cartridges. Even though the primary colors, the yellow, black, the magenta, and the cayenne, these don't normally sludge up at the bottom, even when they sit for days or weeks. But the white ink does. Okay? Because I've cut open cartridges just to see after having them for a while. So that's your refillable cartridges. So if you're not going to print a lot, just get these. If you do make the mistake and get a CISS and you're just a casual printer, you print once a week and you let it sit for the next couple of days, what's going to happen is your ink is going to start clogging in the lines. And that's a problem because a lot of times the ink can't get from the tank to your cartridge. So you'll find that your yellow might stop printing, and when you check it, your yellow cartridge is empty or halfway empty. That's when you got to check the line, and it could be clogged in the line, it could be clogged in the tank, or it could be clogged right here at the bottom where it comes out. Normally this tends to happen with the white ink first. So you would have white ink in these the light cayenne and the light magenta tanks. Let me check my camera. Okay, so if you're not going to do a lot of prints, just go with the refillable cartridges. Sometimes you have to refill them depending on what you're printing. You might not have to refill it so often depending on what you're printing. If you're printing a lot of large graphics, then every now and again you're going to have to refill it. So that's your refillable cartridges. If you're doing a lot of prints, this isn't going to work for you because if you're a store or you're printing just a whole bunch of shirts, these are going to run out pretty fast. So it's best to go with these. And it's the same thing. If you're using the bulking system, you still have to shake it every day. Especially if you have white ink in these two, you shake it just to keep everything mixed so it doesn't settle at the bottom. Normally it starts with the white ink. And you do the same thing with the cartridges. You remove the cartridges, you shake them a couple of times. You do it daily or at least every other day. You shake it and then you reinstall it and put it back. If you're going to go out of town or you're going to be down for a couple of days where you won't use the printer, as you know with textile inks it's easy to clog, what you would do is you'll have an extra set of refillable cartridges with cleaning solution. You would remove your colored cartridges, you install those, you run like 2 to 3 print head cleans just to get the print head clear of ink, and you leave them installed. Then these, the ones that you would remove, all you would do is put your air plug, your ventilation plug back in. This would be your breather plug. That's normally left out when they're installed. So you put them back in, you put them aside, you put them in a container or whatever, and you until you're ready to use them again. With your CISS, what you would do is you would install your refillable cartridges with cleaning solution, your cleaning cartridges. If you're going to be down for a couple of days, you remove these, and then these breathers, you remove these, and then you would just put if they don't come with extra plugs like these to plug them, because you don't want any air getting in if you're not using it. So you would just put your plugs back in, or you could just put a piece of tape over it and just remove the breathers. Another thing to know about these breathers while I'm on that subject, a lot of people get those confused. If you install these and you leave the breathers out, what will happen is it'll start to flood your print head. It's going to start dripping. And sometimes you'll print a graphic and it'll be just one flat square color. Sometimes it's all mixed together, sometimes it's just one color. But the filters, they have to be in. If they are clogged for some reason, a lot of people, they'll turn it this way, it'll fall off, whatever they have it on, and they'll get ink in the filter and it'll clog it. Now what will happen is your cartridge is going to start to stifle now. So if you get ink clogged into the filter of the yellow, once you're printing, everything else is going to print, but there's going to be no yellow because it's not letting in any air into the tank to push the ink around to the cartridge. So that you also have to watch out for whenever you install these. So that's just about it. These are both resettable cartridges. To reset them, you just uninstall them, put them back in, and they'll reset as if they're new. Normally you do this whenever you get that thing on your you get that message on your Epson driver where it pops up and says you're almost out of ink. A lot of times you're not physically out of ink because you might have ink in there, but it doesn't count the amount of prints or the amount of ink used from the chip. It does it from your printer itself. It has an internal counter. So once that comes up, you just unplug it, plug it back in, and that's it. Whether you have ink in there or not, it'll just reset. With this particular cartridge, it has a button, a reset button. That's just a reset button where whenever it's installed, see if you guys could get a good view here. Okay, so that's that button right there. You just press and hold it for, I think it's like 10-15 seconds. But when you press and hold it, it's basically simulating you removing all the cartridges and reinstalling them. So this is just a convenient button where you press and hold it, and it'll reset all the cartridges. So that's that. Some CISS. I got one more right here out of view. This one doesn't come with any. As you can see, it doesn't have a button on there. See if I could get a better view here. So this is just a different manufacturer. It doesn't have the button. So this one you have to pull out and then push it back, reinstall it. So that's that. And that's about it. Refillable cartridges, CISS. Oh, one more thing. If they do get clogged in the lines, you could always remove the lines. If you do have like a white ink clogging the lines, you unplug them right here. And you could peel away these lines separately. And you peel them away and you either pump cleaning solution through them or warm water and try to get them free. A lot of times if they're badly clogged where you can't get it free, then you could just replace the lines, because you could get these lines on eBay also, or a lot of places that sell refillable cartridges and bulking systems. So you can replace those. If you do get a clog in the cartridge itself, where it's not printing from a particular cartridge and the line is free, the tank is free, there's no clog. Sometimes you gotta stick a syringe in the tip right here, just the syringe itself without the needle tip, just the syringe. You just gently stick it in the tip and pull out a little bit of ink. Don't push it too far because there's a spring inside the tip of these cartridges that goes up to release ink. And once you remove, like when you take it off the nozzle, the spring comes down and closes the tip so the ink doesn't leak out. But if you just push it hard, you could get or if you push it too far up, you could damage that spring and it will get stuck and it will start leaking. So you don't want to do that. Just gently push it up there, pull out a little bit of ink to clear the passage or the channel, and it should be good. If you do get any clogs at the cartridge end. If you do get it at the bottom of the tank, you remove the tip, you use a syringe with a hose on it, and you plug it on the tip of the tank right here where the ink comes out, and you pull it out, or you blow it, or you flush it back in. You could rinse these out with cleaning solution or warm water to get it clean. So I'll probably do another video on that, how to get these clean using a syringe with a hose on it. But that's it. So refillable cartridges, CISS, your bulking system, and that's all. Any questions? Feel free to let me know. Thanks.